Many questions have always baffled mankind. Who are we? Why are we here? How were we created? Who created us? And so on. Many old philosophies and theisms try to answer these questions for people of the respective time period, to comfort them. Most of these ideas were not based on any empirical evidence. It is here where science came into the picture and started to actually investigate and follow the little clues the universe and Mother Nature left for us in order to trace our origins and inception. Our story begins when our solar system was merely a collection of dust, or a solar nebula. Nearly all branches of natural science have contributed to the understanding of the main events of the Earth's past. Earth formed around 4.54 billion years ago by gradual accumulation of stellar dust and gas from the solar nebula. The Earth was very hot, evaporating the liquid water into the atmosphere. However, as the Earth started cooling down, water vapor trapped gradually condensed and fell as rain. The rainwater did not boil away, but remained impounded in pools that later on became lakes and oceans. It is also believed that tectonic activity caused many volcanic eruptions at that time. From present-day volcanoes, we know that when they erupt, they release carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and a host of non-oxygen gases. In addition, with no ozone in the atmosphere, the Earth was constantly bombarded with meteorites and other space debris. From current astronomical research, we know that meteorites can carry ice and other compounds, including carbon-based compounds. Researchers believe, therefore, that early Earth's atmosphere consisted of water vapor, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, hydrogen, nitrogen, ammonia, and methane. Note that no oxygen was present in early Earth's atmosphere. Here is where this gets tricky. Till this day, scientists are unsure of how life started on Earth. Many say it originated near deep sea vents, where the water is boiling due to the volcanic activities in these vents. Others say that life came from outer space. This process of outer space inception is called panspermia, and is reputable since many meteorites found on Earth contain the basic nutrients that are needed for life to flourish. Two American scientists, Stanley Miller and Harold Urey, were interested in the aspect of life emerging on Earth. They designed an experiment that simulated early Earth conditions in order to see if life can arise from that. They combined methane, water, ammonia, and hydrogen into a container in the approximate concentrations theorized to have existed only on Earth. To simulate lightning, they added an electrical spark. Days later, they examined the soup that formed and discovered the presence of several simple amino acids. Although this experiment probably did not accurately represent early Earth's percent of gaseous combinations, further work by Dr. Miller and others, using different combinations, all produced organic compounds. Because of the Miller-Urey experiment, scientists now could predict the building blocks that are necessary for the rise of life. They predicted that methane gas, ammonia, and hydrogen sulfides combine to create amino acids, sugars, and basic compounds. Amino acids transformed from monomers to polymers through dehydration linkages with the help of water. These polymers became proteins, which are the basis for cell membranes, DNA, and many other bases for the formation of life. Cells needed membranes to contain all their genetic materials and organelles. After the rise of the first unicellular life forms and their usage of photosynthesis to create oxygen, our atmosphere became saturated with oxygen, which aided in the spontaneous explosion of a variety of plant and insect-like creatures. An interesting aspect of this is that if you trace humans' evolutionary line, it would take you all the way back to a last unidentified common ancestor, which is also the ancestor that evolved later to become all the different animal species that we see on our planet. This, remarkably, shows that all life on Earth is related to one another, one way or another. This is otherwise known as 6 degrees of separation. One could only hope that, after learning that all species on Earth are connected, there are only minute differences in genetic materials between every human being.